Anyway, what's this here? Fox is right with this one. What seems to not be understood. So how South of Midnight Suicide Squad kills Justice League and Assassin's Creed Shadows doing? What these people need to understand is these people are ideologues playing a long game. They can withstand short-term financial losses for long-term gain of cultural control. While people are laughing at them for making games to a modern audience and removing any inkling of previous cultures by transforming IPs, TV shows, movies, and video games to suit their ideology, the modern audience doesn't exist. They're trying to create it. If a generation grows up inundated with propaganda, they will not see it as propaganda. They will see it as just how things are. It will be reality. It will be the culture. That's not true because kids are racist. Like, I was really worried about it too, but then I was at a park and I heard a bunch of kids playing basketball, and they were calling each other retarded and other words that I'm not allowed to use on the stream. Yeah. And I realized that actually things are going to be okay.
I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree. Because, like, he said that, like, this isn't true, and it is true. But what he's saying is that, like, even if that's what they're trying to do, they're not going to succeed, which, yes, I would hope that all of us keep paying attention and make sure they don't fucking succeed at what they're trying to do. That's the whole point of being vigilant. Make it so they don't succeed. And it's like, the problem is that you can go by these, like, basketball courts and you can hear people lobbing racial slurs at each other, but when you get together in, like, the online space, you still have to deal with the mental illness of people controlling your speech. And we need to make sure that is also not the case, right? We need to extend the basketball court into the online arena. If you don't like the words I use and you don't care about context, just don't be here. This isn't the basketball court for you. You don't have to take it upon yourself to crusade against my sponsors or crusade against making sure I can't live. That's crazy. Kids have the opportunity to be saved. They become teachers so they can ambush these kids as soon as they take it in. Yeah, and it's like, I like the way he kind of words things because it sounds less blackpilling than the way I word things. Oh, it's just maybe why some people feel like I'm like saying that, oh, the Marxists are guaranteed to win, which is never what I've said ever. Domain expansion, Xbox Live lobby. Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be all right. Yeah, that's good. It was, and so, like, good for them. And people, I know that there were some people mad that Joe Rogan said that we reclaimed retard, and now we're using retard again.
Which is great, because there was a point in time where if you said retard on Twitch, you would catch a suspension. There was unironically a part of time where if you said retard, you would get suspended. They were trying to turn it into a slur, and thankfully, enough of us are autistic enough to have said, absolutely fucking not. You're not taking my retard. Soon we'll be able to say candy ass again, and it will be a wonderful day.
We're not finished.
True?
We're not.
True?
That's just the start. We just getting started.
That's it's made me think. That's a good point with the retard thing, because they were not able to make retard, to convince enough people that retard was a slur, that they were able to restrict speech even farther. They didn't win that battle. They didn't make that gain, which is a great thing.
I'm just gonna let you know that right now. We're gonna go Clerks 2 on this shit. We're taking it back. Yeah, bro, we're bringing it back. Exactly. Fuck political correctness? I know.
Candy ass isn't even that bad. Candy ass is the stand-in I have to use for the word that I can't say.
the thing is that the main people, the tone policers that do that, is always Karens, bro. It's always Karens. Nobody actually gives a fuck about
It's Karens and it's minors. How often has it been that, like, when Rev and other people showcase the, like, you're a pedophile people online, they're actually unironically just minors, which is why I keep saying people want to think, like, oh, Gen Z is overwhelmingly more conservative, and I think that's a dangerous mindset to have. There's a lot of these kids that are already online mini activists chasing after people. And, like, yes, online isn't representative of everything in real life, and yes, I'm sure there are some incredibly right-leaning Gen Z people, but you have to pay attention to what the overwhelming sphere of them are doing, whether it's online or in person, and just hope that these children have somebody to wrangle them and tell them, hey, don't be such a fucking candy ass.
Shit at all. And strong competence, yeah, I know. Is predicated on the idea that children's cartoons are the entire culture. Yeah, anyway, we're not fighting against woke and gaming. It's against Marxist cultural takeover of all institutions. How many of these kids use reverse racism or reverse discrimination as a real term as kids? What were we taught growing up? There was actually just previous generation of acolytes priming us for a modern audience. And you're going to sit around and wait for them to run out of funding rather than doing something like our parents did. Well, the way that the thing is that even Larry at BlackRock is roaching out on them now. Like, he used to be talking about how much he cared about that shit. Recently, after he lost some money, he said, never mind.
This is the biggest thing that I disagreed with him about here, is Larry Fink is not turning his back on DEI. He's not turning his back on his baby, ESG. He understands where the culture is going and where the fighting back is happening. So he knows how much he has to pull back and hide. The funding isn't going to stop. The terminology is going to change like it has before. Larry Fink was the one who said, now is the time to start forcing behaviors. That is not the mindset of someone who would just throw their hands up and say, well, I've lost a little bit of money, it's time to change. It is about the ideology to people like Larry Fink.
Give a fuck about them, man? Absolutely not. And I do think that she's right. Like, here she's right about this, that for fucking sure, you have a degree of these people that are, like, in it for the long haul. But I'm going to tell you the truth. The moment that these people put out a dud, they put out a turd, well, people don't like eating turds. So they're not going to buy it. And then these people are going to be out on their ass, and they're not going to have anything to do. And so this is what's going to happen. Like, these studios get shut down over and over and over. And also, here's what's important to keep in mind.
Unfortunately, he kind of fell into the trap of what I was saying at the bottom of my post, where it's just like, if these keep flopping, if we keep not buying it, they'll eventually run out of money and they won't be able to do anything. You can't just idly sit by and that be the only thing that you do. You have to do more. You have to create things, and not things that are like overtly right-leaning, right? Just create things that are good. Just create things that people want to play, want to watch, want to engage with. It doesn't have to have a political message, man. Husbando's bringing back the Y to Kirsche. It's just a pet name, you know? Asmon's right. You literally just walked by a kid saying slurs in a basketball court. I mean, I guess you missed the beginning of this where I also said he was right, question mark? Where's the Asmon collab? I don't know, man. Make a good product. Yeah, make good product. And it's like, yeah, he does have a point. They are bleeding money, which is great. And voting with your wallet is a good thing. I would never advise people to, like, buy from people who hate you. Make sure they feel these losses as strongly as you can. Make sure that they lose as much money as possible. Don't give them a fucking inch. Make it hurt, right? And eventually, unfortunately, in some of these cases, China's going to come in. They're going to bully their way into the market. They're going to buy these IPs. They're going to buy these companies. And I don't want to see China pushing propaganda any more than I want to see the Western Marxists doing so. But it's like, you can't fight a million battles at one time, you know, which is why I think that you can't just sit here and wait for them to lose money. There has to be a degree of, like, doing something. Call his ass. What do you mean call him?
Is that the ideology that they're trying to put out there isn't popular. Nobody likes them. Fuck, they don't even like themselves. And so anyway,
he's right. It's not popular, and that's why they have to do all of the subversive garbage that nobody wants. That's why they have to hide the DEI vegetables, because they know People don't want to eat it, but it's what's best for you. Even if you don't want it, it's what's best. It's for the greater good, chat.
That's why they all hate themselves. They're typing up all this shit, hating each other, hating themselves. And so whenever one person sees one of these studios die, if it bleeds, you can kill it.
Yep.
Keep making it bleed, metaphorically.
Yes.
Never fucking put up with this bullshit.
You definitely
Never
metaphorically.
let them fuck you around with this shit. Absolutely not. So yes, and Karens drinking the haterade? Yeah, they are. Karens are witches? Yeah, bro. You know what? I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, let's move on.
Never give up, chat. Don't let them demoralize you.
Never give up.
That's what they fucking want. Literally, too. They bleed cash. Exactly. The anger addicts yelling at us that they're happy. Yeah, I believe that they're happy, like I believe I'm not a fox woman. You can't say that you just want to be left alone and grill in peace. That strategy hasn't worked. They're relentless because their ideologically captured minds drive them like a parasite ants to their doom. Pretty fucking much. That's why like the indie game sector has been thriving. That's why when people played Helldiver and it was just a good product, they felt like they were fucking taken advantage of when Helldiver started having all these issues with the people who were playing their game. They were like, I just wanted good product. Why are you being ideologues now? You know? And when our autism powers unite, they cannot stop us. Yeah. They just couldn't leave the video games alone. They weren't prepared for how autistic video game enjoyers were. They thought it would be just as easy as co-opting Hollywood, man. So I'm glad that somehow Asmongold got to see my tweet. That was very nice. Thank you.